Virtual currencies, perhaps most notably Bitcoin, have captured the imagination of some, struck fear among others, and confused the heck out of the rest of us. Some proponents believe that digital currencies can prove valuable to those in developing countries without access to stable financial systems. Others believe it could prove to be the next generation payment system for retailers, both online and in the real world. This isn't the first time that advances in technology have posed challenging questions, challenging issues for policymakers and for society as a whole. As we know, technology is dynamic and changes quickly. Concepts like email and even the Internet itself were once alien and difficult to understand and navigate. And in anticipation of this hearing a week or two ago, I was trying to get my head around this subject, and I asked my staff to talk to me about the early days of the Internet, and there were a number of concerns raised about how it might foster or facilitate illegal activities. And but there are some who said there could be a lot of benefit here as well. And I asked them if that was maybe an analogy that was applicable here for virtual currencies.
Senator, I believe your analogy is an apt one. So often when there's a new type of financial service or a new player in the financial industry, the first reaction by those of us who are concerned about money laundering or terrorist finance is to think about the gaps and the vulnerabilities that it creates in the financial system and how illicit actors will take advantage of those vulnerabilities or gaps. But it's also important that we step back and recognize that innovation is a very important part of our economy. It's very important in this country. It's something that we're known for and proud of and want to continue. The decision to bring virtual currency within the scope of our regulatory framework should be viewed as a positive development for this sector. It recognizes the innovation virtual currencies provide and the benefits they might offer society. Several new payment methods in the financial sector have proven their capacity to empower customers and expand access to financial services. We want such advances to continue, because the fact is any financial service, any type of financial institution can be exploited. Cash is probably still the best medium for laundering money.
That the online cyber criminals, the high-level international cyber criminals that we're talking about, have not, by and large, gravitated towards the peer-to-peer cryptocurrency, such as Bitcoin. Again, this is within the confines of what we've dealt with. The Eastern European cyber criminals that we have developed a specialty in have, by and large, gravitated towards a centralized digital currency that is the virtual currency within the existing laws. I believe there are plenty of opportunities for digital currencies to operate within the existing laws and regulations.
I think we've all approached it in the same way, which is that virtual currencies in and of themselves are not illegal. We've all recognized that innovation is important.
Let me begin by saying we are enthusiastic about the potential of virtual currencies and the digital economy for social good, particularly in helping to bring about financial inclusion for the 2.5 billion adults on the planet today without access to banks, credit cards, and the mainstream financial system. Senator Carper, I think there is broad-based agreement about the potential of a digital economy and virtual currencies. I think there is absolute agreement that there is enormous potential for social good and that this is an emerging technology that needs to be protected.
I'm here to testify because I believe that digital currency represents one of the most important technical and economic innovations of our time. It's very clear that over the past 20 years, the Internet has been at the center of global economic innovation. Open platforms have transformed communications, media, software, education, commerce, and retail. But for a variety of reasons, the technology and business models around finance has been insulated from similar transformations. This same open platform approach in digital currency, specifically Bitcoin, presents an opportunity for the same level of innovation and advancement in forms of currency, trade, and payments that we've seen brought to bear on other industries. Specifically, our payment systems are inefficient and very much built upon systems and processes that predate the Internet. The result is higher costs for consumers, lower margins for business, and less efficient economic interaction. And in many cases, our financial systems have excluded enormous bases of consumers who remain unbanked or underbanked. Another risk is that the United States falls behind in this critical emerging economic innovation. Regulatory uncertainty could hold back American companies from participating in driving digital currency innovation. Indeed, today, a Bitcoin exchange in China has become the largest single trading exchange in the world, followed by exchanges in Japan and Europe. We need to uphold and support our incredible history in America of supporting technical innovation and entrepreneurship.
So what is it about Bitcoin and similar cryptographic currencies that make them unique? Whatever one may think about Bitcoin's prospects for enduring value, it is safe to say that it is a remarkable technical achievement. Bitcoin is the world's first completely decentralized digital currency, and it's the decentralized part of that sentence that is really unique. Prior to Bitcoin's invention in 2009, online currencies or payment systems had to be managed by a central authority, whether it was Facebook issuing Facebook credits or PayPal ensuring that transactions between its customers were reconciled. However, by solving a long-standing conundrum in computer science known as the double spending problem, Bitcoin, for the first time, makes possible transactions online that are person-to-person, without the need for an intermediary between them, just like cash. More to the point, serious criminals looking to hide their tracks are more likely to choose a centralized virtual currency run by an intermediary willing to lie to regulators for a fee, rather than a decentralized currency like Bitcoin that, as a technical matter, must make a record of every transaction, even if pseudonymously. While the online black market Silk Road, which used Bitcoins, is estimated to have generated less than $200 million in drug sales, the centralized digital currency Liberty Reserve is believed to have laundered more than $6 billion related to credit card fraud, identity theft, computer hacking, and child pornography. The path forward that can best confront risks while ensuring that we can reap Bitcoin's beneficial potential is to allow the Bitcoin network and its surrounding infrastructure to develop by making sure that entrepreneurial innovators can easily comply with existing regulation. The alternative, promulgating special regulations for virtual currencies or otherwise making it more costly to operate legitimately in this space, could have two unintended consequences. First, it might mean ceding the network to exclusively illegal use and foregoing any visibility that law enforcement could otherwise gain into the activities of compliant firms. And second, the United States could lose its head start in what may be the next breakthrough industry if it establishes a regulatory regime that hampers Bitcoin, while other countries, like China and Canada and Germany, look for ways to develop workable regulatory frameworks for Bitcoin. It is a little strange that Bitcoin, we don't know who the creator is. And so that often conjures up the idea that there's some risk here that we have not.
You don't think it was Al Gore, do you?
You know, he's never denied it. But I think the key thing to emphasize is that Bitcoin, especially the code base, is open source. That means it is completely open and audible and available to anybody to look at. And in fact, many very smart programmers and cryptographers have looked at it and have given it their seal of approval. And as Mr. Merck said,
we have a bit of a shared responsibility here in trying to figure out how to make this work so that we minimize the bad that can flow from it and maximize the good. I'm encouraged that maybe it's possible to have the benefits of a virtual currency or virtual currencies, and to actually be able to not facilitate, but to hold down the kind of criminal activity and criminal involvement that we talked about here today.